I'm after a budget camera for vlogging and general video use, and I'm after some help or suggestions from you guys. Currently I've been using a general iPhone, which has been brilliant for slow motion, don't get me wrong, but I've also, for my main footage, I've been using a Samsung WB200F, which has been a good little camera, to be honest. It shoots in 720p, it's reasonable, it does lack a lot of features that I'd like to have, and it's starting to have a few issues. I've also been using a Kit Vision, I can't tell you what model it is, but that only shoots in 720p as well, but it's been brilliant for going underwater, etc. I bought it from Asda, which is the equivalent of Walmart. Cost me £30, not a lot to spend, so it's been brilliant to use, and I haven't been too worried if it gets damaged. So now you know what I've been using, pretty much anything will be an upgrade from there. I wouldn't really want to spend more than £1,000, which is around the equivalent of $1,000 camera wise, with the UK import tax on cameras boosting the price, making them around about equivalent dollar per pound. However, I'd sooner spend less rather than spending the budget just because I want to spend the budget. I'd sooner spend half the budget and be happy with what I've got rather than just spending more for the sake of it. So in the shortlist we have the Canon G7x. It's got the selfie screen, no microphone input, doesn't do 4K, not a major problem. It does have image stabilization. I've read lots of good reviews on this. However, I'm a little bit worried that you can't change the lenses, so it will be what it will be, and that is it. And I think it'll be quite good for doing certain things, but I'm also worried about the sound quality. Next on the list is the Canon 200D, which is known as the SL2. It's got a selfie screen, it's got microphone input, 60 frames per second at 1080, supposedly very good autofocus in comparison to the Panasonic model. It's only got optical stabilization. I can get this for around £450 or £600 with two lenses, so it's very good value. Then we've got the Panasonic G7, very similar price to the Canon 200D / SL2. £450 for the camera without lenses. What the Panasonic gains with its ability to do 4K over the Canon gains in a better autofocus system. Other than this, they are reasonably equivalent cameras for what I will use them for. A lot of people will argue that the Canon's got a better sensor, better range of lenses, etc. It's very difficult for someone like myself to say. A lot of people say the Panasonic video quality is very good. If anyone has an opinion, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll move on to the next option, which is the Panasonic GH4. Now the GH4 has got the selfie screen, it's got a microphone input, does the 4K, it does 96 frames per second at 1080. Once again, optical only stabilization, and I would be looking to pay around £600 to £660 for one of these second hand. Brand new, they're discontinued, or I'm struggling to find one, and if I could find one, it would be over my budget. So I'd be looking to get a second hand one, but I've heard and I've read very good reviews around these cameras. Is it worth buying second hand? I did have a quick look at the GH5, obviously 180 frames per second, it's got the in-body stabilization, selfie screen, microphone input, everything that GH4's got and better. The only problem with the GH5 is it's around £1,600–1,700, way over my budget. I can't find anything second hand that's worth looking at, so it's no option. Now we've got the Panasonic G80. It's got the selfie screen, it's got the microphone input, 60 frames per second at 1080, 5-axis stabilization. Very good camera, The only thing it lacks for what I preferably want to use is the 120 frames per second slow motion. Oh, yeah. There's a big drawback. It would be fantastic if Panasonic could do some form of update that would allow it to do that, but I'm guessing they will be reserving that for the GH5 only. Otherwise, what's the point of people buying the GH5 on a budget level rather than the professional level? Obviously, on a professional level, a different story. I can get one of these for around £550, so not majorly more expensive than the Panasonic G7. I have read that in 4K mode it will only do a 5-minute clip. However, will I ever want to record more than 5 minutes? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Is it something that's caused you a problem in the past? The last of the Panasonics that I have on the list is the FZ2000, which in the US is the FZ2500. It pretty much ticks every box for me. It's got the selfie screen, it's got microphone input, it does 120 frames per second. It does cost more, but obviously it's got an inbuilt lens, and it's around £900. It's actually listed as £1,000, but I think it'll come down to £900 over the next couple of days. It may come down more. The only problem I do have with it is it is very bulky, and it feels like it's the DSLR size camera, but you can't actually change the lens. So I feel like I'm getting everything I kind of want without being able to change the lens, and with its size I feel like it'd be quite cumbersome and horrible to carry, and because I can't change the lens I can't get the nice out of focus blur that I'd want to get. Although am I trying to get too much for my money, or obviously from where I've started anything will be an upgrade? Am I thinking too far out of the box, or you know, is it a good camera? Has anyone had one? Can anyone give me your experience of it? It's got image stabilization in body as well, so another big bonus. Now we come to the first of our Sony lineup, which is the A6300. No selfie screen, does have a microphone input though, and it will do 120 frames per second. Optical only stabilization, which isn't a great thing. It doesn't have a touch screen, which may benefit me with regards to being able to use touchscreen to focus on particular objects, which I'd kind of like. It is expensive though, I'm looking about £850, and I've been told or I've read up that they do have temperature issues when recording video. Obviously, as an amateur, is it something that I could bear with? Because obviously I think I'd be taking a lot more time setting the camera up, etc., and trying to get the shot than a more professional person or more experienced photographer would do. At which point, is the camera going to be on for longer? Is it going to get more excessively heated because I'm an amateur? Next, we've got the A6500, which is pretty much the same as the A6300 from what I'd see. It's a lot more expensive. It comes in at nearly £1,300. It does have a touchscreen, which would help with the autofocus. It is stabilised in body as well, which is brilliant, but it's just over the budget. So at that point, the last Sony and the last camera on my list is the Sony RX100 Mark IV. Now with the 100 Mark IV, its biggest problem is it doesn't have a microphone input, and I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube where the lack of microphone input and the quite poor microphone that's built in causes people problems. And then obviously it goes back to the point where you can't change the lenses, etc. Although it is quite cheap, it's around £700 for what it is. Obviously it does 4K, brilliant, ticks most of the boxes. The only problem it doesn't have is a microphone input. So which camera do you think I should go for? The Panasonic FZ2000 or FZ2500 seems like a really good option, but it is a very big camera. You can't take it apart to put it in a bag. All the others sound good, but am I going to limit myself by buying a smaller compact camera as opposed to buying one with interchangeable lenses. If anyone has experience or anyone wants to give any recommendations of what they think I should do, let me know in the comments. Subscribe for the next video and I'll let you know what camera I bought and why I made the decision.